Okay, Niveda, I think you can start now.
Okay, sir, I'll start. Good morning to one and all gathered here for the meeting. I take pleasure and privilege in introducing our presenter for today, Mr. Ashok Kumar, who is the Executive Director of Salem Gopi Hospitals Private Limited. And we should be mentioning that sir is also an elite alumnus of Sona College of Technology and Sona School of Management. So we are very privileged to have you today here, sir. It is also very clear that sir is a mentor of Sona Quiz Club, and people have been achieving in many interstate competitions and intercollegiate competitions due to sir's guidance. It is a privilege in having you once again, sir, as a presenter for our webinar today. It's a proud moment today, and hope we'll get along in the session very well, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Shall we start? Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can, sir.
Thank you, thank you. So just a small intro about myself. Thanks for the opportunity, Kamal sir, Ganesh sir, and the entire Sona team for giving me this opportunity. So just a small intro. I did my engineering at Sona Tech, the first batch of CS. Then I did my MBA at PSG Coimbatore, 2003 pass out. So after coming to the hospital, I've taken interest in fibers and TQM. So I'm an external assessor for fibers and for TQM, CII and the Bombay RBNQA. So both fibers and TQM are of my interest of late. So a bit of history to know about fibers. Fibers was started in Japan after the World War, the Hiroshima bombings. Japan wanted to get back to US not by waging a war, but they wanted to prove that Japanese can bounce back and dominate the world. That was their art of war strategy. Japanese wanted to influence the world's largest economy, America, by like every car should be the Japanese, every TV should be a Japanese one. That's why Japanese got into this quality revolution. So the quality gurus, right now the worldwide famous quality gurus are Dr. Joseph Juran and Dr. Edwards Deming. Both are statistics professors. Surprisingly, both of them are American college professors. The Americans didn't listen to them. The Ford, the GM, they didn't listen to these quality gurus. The Japanese were very much interested in using these gurus to dominate, to understand the quality better. So before entering into fibers, we need to understand why are we doing this. If the why is strong enough, how, what, where, everything will follow. So, because I heard many people starting fibers, but after a while they either tell they finished fibers or they tell no, we couldn't follow it up. It is because the why is not strong enough. So we'll understand what the why is. At the end of the presentation, we'll again come back to this why circle. This is by Simon Sinek. He's a famous author. A lot of books he's written on why. So why fibers? Before going to fibers, we need to understand what waste is. Every process will have a set of activities. In every activity, there will be value-adding activity and non-value-adding activity. So I'll just give you an example. This waste or this fibers applies to every industry that we started with manufacturing, but services, education, not-for-profit, even governments. So everyone can apply this waste. Today's presentation will be entirely on home fibers. So how could we apply it in home? So I will give you an example of what waste is. Let's say you enter your favorite restaurant, go pick an empty table chair, go sit there, get a menu card, flip the menu card, and then order for a dosa. Till the dosa arrives, keep fiddling in your mobile phone. Then after the dosa arrives, you cherish it. Then maybe ask for more sambar or chutney and wait. So after you finish your dosa, you go wash your hands, come back and ask for a check. Then wait for it's either a card swipe or a cash. After you get the balance, you leave the hotel. So let's say it takes around 30 to 40 minutes for the entire one dosa journey. So the moment you cherished your dosas, the only value added time. Others all are non-value added time. So this waste can be categorized into 7 categories. First category is overproduction. Anything which is produced more than required is overproduction waste. Inventory waste. Anything which is stocked or dumped more than required at different levels is inventory waste. Then is waiting waste. Waiting is you either wait for your previous customer to give it to you or colleague to give it to you, or you make your other person in that process wait. Fourth waste is motion waste. Anything which you keep searching, it's called motion waste. I think fibers will cover more on motion waste. It will cover most of the wastes, but specifically motion waste will be attacked by fibers. Then is your transportation waste. Movement of material from one place to another or within the organization. Motion is without material you keep moving. Transportation is with material you keep moving. And the sixth waste is rework or defect waste. We would have heard of the word first time right. So anything you don't do first time right is a rework or a defect waste. Seventh is a over processing waste. Anything which is more than required. Let's say that's only for required for a certain extent, adding more value to is called a over processing waste. Initially when Toyota defined, they had only 7 waste, but later they added an 8th waste called human potential. Today we live in a knowledge economy, so human brain is supposed to be the most important resources of all we have. There is a research estimate telling that we don't use more than 5 to 10% of our brain. So these Toyota added one more 8th waste called human waste, or underutilizing people's talents, skills, or knowledge. In any organization, people are supposed to be the number one resource. So getting suggestions or getting feedback from not doing it is a big waste. So we'll see in 7 waste example in the house. Mostly this entire presentation will be about home fibers so that everyone understands it's easier. So let's take a transportation waste. Transportation waste inside a house. Let's say you want something from the kitchen or something from a cupboard which is far away from the kitchen. So you go there and pick up the material and come. That is a transportation waste. Next is inventory waste. Let's say bread packets inside the fridge which gets expired, we don't use it. Extra rice or grains inside the storeroom which cockroaches or rats eat away, we don't use it, we dump it a lot. That is inventory waste. Motion waste is you keep searching, for example, you keep searching for your TV remote or AC remote or a nail cutter. That searching waste is called a motion waste. Fourth is waiting waste. We call it timwood, TIMWOOD. So remember timwood. So after waiting waste, we have waiting waste is like, let's say you wait for someone to arrive in the house. Till then, you don't do anything productive. You just tell, I'm waiting for the milkman, I'm waiting for the delivery Swiggy boy. Till then, you just while away your time. That is a waiting waste. The next is overproduction waste. Doing anything more than required. Let's say in the house, we do more of extra white rice or extra sambar rasam, which is more than required and waste it. It's overproduction waste. Over processing waste is anything which is doing more than required. Let's say adding more than what is basically required for the customer. Over processing, I put it in the lighter vein that when we get ready at the home, like gents get ready quicker, but ladies take more time. That is an over processing waste for us. So then is defect rework waste. There's no sugar or more sugar, less salt or more salt. You will have to again do some corrections. That is a defect rework in the kitchen. Then is unutilized human skills is not applying our mind inside the house to improve the stem woods. So this is the brief about Tim Wood. There are a lot of interesting YouTube videos. Go just type Tim Wood waste lean. You'll have videos for your specific industry. So what do you do with this waste? The ones who define the waste, Toyotas, they themselves tell even today they have around 95% waste and only 5% value adding activity. You entirely can't remove a waste. You think about the restaurant example, you will have to go sit, you'll have to go order, you'll have to wait. So entirely you can't remove all the waste in the activity. We can minimize the unwanted waste. So there's a concept called ECRS framework. That is, eliminate the activity which you can avoid, combine or rearrange the activity. Rather than doing at different intervals, if you could combine it and rearrange, it will be better. Then is simplify. So our objective should be reducing waste. You can't entirely remove it. So there are a lot of methods in which you could reduce waste: lean, value stream mapping, kaizen. 5S is one of the tool which you could reduce waste. So we've been doing 5S for past 4 to 5 years. My sincere advice to anyone who wants to do 5S, don't do it for beautification's sake. Many people think 5S is just sticking labels, printing new papers. Then after 2-3 months, 5S is done. There's no end for a quality journey. 5S is lifelong. 5S is a culture where there is no full stop for it. If you understand this waste properly, you will do 5S better. If you don't attack the waste, then you're doing 5S for beautification's sake. So we'll enter into what is 5S. The key words are the workplace. Workplace in the sense, for me, the workplace now is my laptop, my table, my chair, where I sit. Same way for you, the workplace is the place where you sit, stand and work, not the entire organization. If each one improves their workplace, the entire organization will be clean and fine at all times. All times is a key word here. Sometimes easier things are tougher to do and tougher things are easier to do. Let's say rarely, monthly once or monthly twice, when someone gives you a tough work, you'll do it off. With the excitement, you'll do it. But every day doing this is more of an habit, bringing a good habit change. So that is the tougher part in 5S. 5S is very simple to understand, but you need a big, strong, disciplined mind to daily practice it. Niveda, is it okay? Is my voice okay?
Yes, sir. It's fine, sir.
Thank you, thank you. So we'll get into the Japanese words. I'm not sure how many people here right now are learning Japanese at Sona. The Japanese words are seiri, seiton, siso, sikutse, shitsuke. Let's don't need to remember Japanese words. The simple English words are: one is sort, set in order, shine or clean, standardize, sustain or discipline. Now let's get into each SS. So let's say let's just imagine of a workplace or your home or your computer or your mobile phone. First thing you do is go stand there and look at items which you need, which you don't need. That is the first step. Sort. We'll detailedly get into each S. Now I'll just give you a brief. First is you go stand there, items you need, items you don't need. So that is first S. Now let's keep the items we don't need aside. Now second step, items which you need, mark it give it a place for everything and everything in its place. Just like the diagram, each tool has a place for it, it's marked there. Third is cleaning or shining. This is more of cleaning with inspection, cleaning with a detection mindset. It is not just normal cleaning. We'll see it inside. Fourth is standardize. Standardize is your SOPs, your checklist. You do what you tell and you tell what you do. Everyone in the organization follows the same standard. That is fourth S. Fifth S is making this as a habit and culture for lifelong. So basic 5S is do your first is sort, second is set in order, third is shine. Fourth is takes care, you follow the 1, 2, 3 properly. Fifth is takes care of, you do the 1, 2, 3, 4 properly. We'll have one more explanation. First is clearly distinguish needed items from unneeded and eliminate the later. So you go to a place, you segregate items you need, items you don't need. That is first is. Second is the items which you need have a place for it, a place for everything and everything in its place. Third is keep the workplace neat and clean. Fourth is standardize. Remember SOPs, checklists, all the rules which you frame inside the organization come under standardize. Fifth is keeping this wheel rotating. That is fifth S. So we'll get into each S one by one. First S, as I told you, the red bucket is not needed bucket. The green bucket is needed bucket. So let's say you go to each room in your house. Which all areas can we do 5S? The first step, your kids who have entering a new standard in the new school, I'm sure all their shoes would have grown up. They would have grown their shoes. So the first shoe rack, you check your shoe racks, your cupboards, your unwanted newspaper, old newspaper stand, the old books which we don't use, the broken toys. Nowadays we have too much of broken toys, digital gadgets which don't work, expired, and in kitchen we would have a lot of stuff which we don't use. Oneness is just not limited to your physical places. This entire 5S you could do inside the computer, inside your mobile, inside your email. Email inbox 0, I mean, is your inbox up to date? Many people would have inbox 10,000, 20,000, 100 mails. In inbox alone, you could do 5S. So the primary aim for oneness is to save space. Space could be physical or digital space. So this we don't do in the house, but imagine I give you a red tag sticker. You take this sticker, I'll give you, let's say 20, 30 stickers. You take it, walk around your place, walk around your home office. Whichever item you don't need, go sticker red color sticker on it. Then you decide what to do with it. You need to move it, you need to repair it and get back to using it, or you need to completely throw it away, or you could make use of it in some other alternative way. So you take that decision. So these are the oneness steps. We did it in our house, the old papers, the old magazines. You could see the engineering mathematics book there. That is like 20 years before. That's I think it's the first year engineering mathematics book. I studied at Sona. Then all my drawers, old bills, old expired credit cards. So a lot of stuff we had. So this is the red tag corner in the house. We had a small storeroom outside the house. So I've just put it all here. So what are the benefits of oneness? The first benefit is you save more space. A lot of people ask me, I'm having a small office, can I do 5S? Even for them, you'll see a lot of benefit even in a small space. So if you do it inside the computer or a mobile phone, you'll have more space. So tips for first is fix a date. Let's say every first Sunday of the month. It's depending upon the convenience of all the people in your house. Fix a date and monthly once go around the house and look for items which you could take a decision on. Most of the time what we do is we look at the item and again keep it there. We should clearly decide what to do with it. You either keep it in a designated area. When we were doing oneness, we had a nice time. Me, myself, and my two kids. All the photos in the house were like in different areas. Kids, nowadays schools give a lot of photos, ID cards. So all these photos, we went and kept it in the photo rack. That way, doing oneness is a lot of fun. So we'll move on to the second S. So objective of second is to reduce motion waste. When you think of second S, just think of 30 seconds. Any item you want, it should be less than, you should retrieve it in less than 30 seconds. I use the word retrieve, not searching. So where all can you do second is in the house? Library, storeroom, kids study area, like anywhere where an item is stored, you could do second is. So it literally means everywhere. So how do we do it? Since I don't want to work on this chat, so we'll skip the chat for now. There's a concept called shadow board. Shadow board means on the left you see a thermocol. Let's say you with a scale or with a blade, you just make it a depth of thermocol shadow, so that stapler, that pencil will only get into that slot. You can't keep it in a different slot. That way, you given a place for that item. That is on the left. On the right, if you have a lot of tools, you could just draw a black, any color you want, or just a pencil stencil like you could just draw it and keep it there, so that you know this tool won't get misplaced. You can't pick up a tool and keep it somewhere else. People even do, let's say you pick up a spanner who's picked it up. Let's say you have 3 people. Let's say in office you have 3 people, A, B, C. You can just mark a small sticker there. It's taken by A, so that B and C knows A is taken it. That way also you could do innovatively. So the next set of photos are more of the house photos. So on the left, we've marked all the switches like light 1, light 2, fan 1, fan 2. On the right, on that electrical device, mention it's L1, so that you know which switch we switch on for which device. We don't have to keep flipping all the switches. This is for the cutlery in the kitchen. All the items are mixed on the left. On the right, you categorized into forks, spoons. That way you could categorize it so that you don't mix it up. So this is an important indicator. Depends upon the item you want. They have done it for chili powder. For each, let's say for different people, for gents, ladies, kids, for them there will be different items which shouldn't at all get bounced. Bounced in the sense shouldn't go to 0. So for those items, maintain, let's say red is 1 item. I'll give an example. It would be a soap or a paste. Let's say you have 3 pastes in your house. Red could be 1 item, yellow could be 2 items, green could be 3 items. So anytime when you hit red, you make sure you again buy 2 more paste or soap and stock it. So that reorder level, you'll make sure you don't lose items when you badly need it. In house or in manufacturing industries, this is very much used, where every inventory is labeled item wise. So we know where we stand when we should reorder. These are kitchen trays. Just check the L on the granite floor so that this tray should fit in there. You can't keep the trays away. So even for specifically which tray where it should go, they've marked. So even these are like kitchen trays, plates. Each drawer, each glass is mentioned what are all the items inside. Rack wise, the height wise, you'll know, like you don't have to open up each shelf and check where the item is. So this way it makes easier to pick the item which you. Whenever you do second days, ask yourself, will you take it in 30 seconds? That is the objective of second days. Kids corner, color pencil, sharpeners, erasers, scales. We search for headphones, so we give a place for headphones. There's a boundary mark for the printer. When you mark a boundary, it means you don't keep anything above it, or you don't overlap the printer. So that way the printer, the paper stays safe. Stapler pins, packing tape, cello tape, gift wraps, everything you could segregate a place for that. So wealth out of waste is a concept from in oneness. There would be items which you don't need, but that could be used for some other purpose. Maybe old bottles, you could reuse it. I think these are like some old papers where you could use it as a calculator stand. The corrugated box and the polythene sheet, you could use it as a calculator stand. So these are the remotes. It's very common to search for AC remote or a Tata Sky remote in the hall. So on the left, you see 3 remotes. When you pick up a remote, there's a small sticker there telling it's Tata Sky remote. So when you go stand there, you'll know the Tata Sky remote is not there. It's placed in the sofa. So anyone after finishing their TV watching, they can come keep it here. Same way in the room also, we've given a place for TV remotes. Then is your kids study rack. On the left is the previous rack. On the right is after we've done labels. And this week I'm waiting for the carpenter to do the vertical stuff. One of the most important things in second is everything should be vertically stacked. I'll tell the reason why. On the left, let's say you have 10 books. You won't know which book is missing. Let's say I ask you for some book. You can't take it in 30 seconds. You will have to flip each book and see which book I'm asking for. On the right, you find out, I think book number 11 is missing. On the bottom, they've written 1 to 18. On the above books, I think few books are missing. 11 is missing, 5 is missing. So when it's vertically stacked, you will know like which is missing, which is easier to pick. So I think this is one of the most important rules. Everything should be vertically stacked. I've seen people even stacking the laptops vertically. Abnormality is a very important keyword here. Since this being home, even in this slide, you understand that book number 11 is missing. That is an abnormality. In a workplace, fibers is used to show abnormality. So this is the library in the house. So we've categorized racks into God. God is Ramayana, Mahabharatam, Bhagavad Gita books. Life is Ikiga, those kind of books. Japanese is my favorite rack. That is fibers, TQM, TPM, those stuffs. Habits, scorecards, TQM, kids rack. So we categorize racks into categories. Second, this we had a nice time doing photos. All the old photos, wedding albums, birthday albums, each one was in a different room and a different place. Now inside the library, we given it a rack. I think we've taken 2 racks for that. So all the photos are kept here. We didn't just stop with physical photos. All my Google photos. I think earlier during college days, I was using Flickr. So now it's Google Photos. So I downloaded all my Flickr photos and uploaded into Google Photos. Now my entire photo album collection is very safe in Google Photos. Next is the key stand. So this is a common anytime, because every time I do this webinar, the most searched item in the house is your bike key or car key. So we can have a car key stand like this. So for car key, cycles key, we have a stand like this. Second is a sports corner. Before doing this, we used to keep, my kids used to search for the balls. Don't be all the shuttlecocks, all the bats, each one will be in a different place. So now we've given a sports corner. So now it's easier to pick it up. Next is the shoe rack. So first rack is for Adya, her socks is inside that rack. The box on the right is her socks. So each way, Adya's rack, Akshat's rack, my rack, Mahi's rack. So it's easier to get your shoes and it's not mixed up. Next is the kitchen storeroom. We mark for each boxes. For the next step, you'll also have to mark on the granite. Let's say on the left, we'll have to also mark here. We are doing it right now. So that this box doesn't go here. So every time you stick a label, make sure you stick it on the box, you stick it below or above in the wall, so that this item always stays there. So it's better if you stick it 2 times, label it 2 times. So I think this is my favorite, what I've done now. This is like every time I sit on the dining table, I keep fiddling with my phone. So what we've done is behind the dining table corner, I've just keep the phone here while eating. So now every time when I go to the dining table, I don't take the phone, I keep it here. This way I made it a habit, more of a secondary habit. So as I told you, this is not just limited to your physical spaces. This entire 2S can be done inside your computer, inside your mobile. Just you itself give it a try. Let's say you want, maybe more of students here. Let's say you want to retrieve your first year project file. Can you do it in 30 seconds? So any file you want, let's say one of your professors ask your ID card, ask your PAN card, or any file they ask, can you give it to them in 30 seconds? That way you could organize your digital files. So second is benefits is easy retrieval. Think of the number 30 seconds. Visual control is a very big topic. When we do it for factories, there are 10 types of visual control. So that's an even more interesting topic. Right now for home, let's just restrict here. So third is, where all can we do third is in the house? Daily regular floor cleaning, cobweb cleaning, water tank, sump cleaning, air conditioner filters. This way there are a lot of items in the house which we'll have to clean proactively. The most important thing in third is are you prepared for the day? Let's say morning you clean your cycle or bike or car. Are you prepared for the day? Let's say you go clean it at 7:30. When 9 o'clock, when you leave, there is no air or there is some defect with it. Then there's no point cleaning it at 7 o'clock. Let's say I'll give you a simple example. More of students here. Morning, let's say 7 o'clock, a school kid or a college kid gets their school bags ready. After going to the school, when they open their pencil box, there is no eraser, there is no sharpener. Then you haven't cleaned it properly. Morning 7 o'clock, or the previous day when you clean your school bags, you make sure you're prepared for the day. That is the third is concept. You clean it with inspection in mind. You just don't clean it for the formality's sake. So in the third is you will have more of cleaning daily schedules, weekly schedules. Let's say we have AC in the house. Every month we need to clean the front filter. Alternative months we need to do a water wash. All those can be tracked like this. If you don't want to, in the house we usually don't like to keep stickers like this. Then you maintain a book or a file so that you don't have to stick it here. So we have a cleaning tool corner. The benefits for third is the biggest benefit for third is your machinery breakdowns will be less. 80 to 90% of machine breaking down is dust is the number one reason. In the house, let it be AC, washing machine, refrigerator. Even if you take manufacturing, dust is the number one reason for machine breaking down. So if you do your third is properly, your breakdowns will reduce. Fourth is more of a standardize and discipline. So what all can you do? Schedules, to-dos. So 1 point lesson is in a small A4 sheet or A3 sheet. Can you convey it? You keep writing SOPs for 100 pages and keep it in the cupboard. No one will watch your SOPs. If the same SOP can be given in a small pictorial format, all will follow. So audits come under fourth is. The matrix 5W1H will come in fourth is. So my area, my mission concept is in your house, can all of you take responsibility for each area? Let's kids take one area, we take one area. You don't leave any area unleft. That is called no man's land. You don't ignore any place, any areas which we can't reach or which we behind the house we ignore. That is called no man's land. So every square feet of area should be taken care of. So these are the training the home we did. This is my daughter's writing. So we trained everyone in the house to understand 5S. Then how do you maintain all your digital documents, all the requirements in the house? Birth certificate, Aadhaar, passport. As I told you, anything you want, this should be retrieved in less than 30 seconds. So since I'm using Trello board a lot, all the things I need, all my passport details, all the documents which I need, I have it in a Trello board with due date. So it's easier to maintain. You could also have a physical folder like this, which maintains all your warranty cards, manuals, spare keys, so that it's easy to pick it up. So as I told you, the water tank cleaning schedule, we usually have one sump in the car park and one overhead tank. So how regularly do you clean this? So this could be tracked and monitored. So every mission, this is the UPS on the left, the automatic motor on the right. During the lockdown, we did it. So I didn't have the printer in the house. So I just wrote it. So every contact detail should be, when you go stand there, you should know who's the person I should call. When is he going to do service next time? So you'll know which month he has to come. So this is the EB meter in the house. So we also track alternative months. What is my EB bill? So I think top is the rupees, bottom is the units. So we could also think about how to reduce EB consumption. So these are the do and don'ts. This I did it for my kids in the dining table. So for kids, depends upon which area you need. Let's say you need a do and don'ts for a washing machine, do and don'ts for a refrigerator, do and don'ts for your TV time. So depending upon what you need, you can do your own do and don'ts. These are do and don'ts for my kids. So as I told you, 1 point lesson is a small pictorial paper which conveys how to operate it. This is the automatic fence alarm we have in the house. So the step 1 is for the B100 mission, step 2 is for the voltage alarm mission. Maybe after now I could do it a better OPL. This was done during the COVID times. So the most important word in fourth is audit. Even in the house, we did think should a house be audited, but then I felt that if we don't do audit, we will deteriorate. So we'll have to monitor it. So maybe after doing 5 years this month properly, by end of July, I'll do audit for the house. How do you do an audit? This is a standard template for an audit. Each S will have 20 marks. This is a common office template. Depending upon how your home needs or how your factory needs, you could customize it. So each S 20, you get 100 total. So roughly you could do it monthly or alternatively and do a trend graph and see are we improving or not. So we'll moving to fifth is. Fifth is, as I told you, fifth is about culture. It's more about Kaizen is continuous improvement. I think fifth, in home, we won't have much of 5S to do. This is more of workplace. Kaizen is small improvements. Quality circle is 6 to 8 people solving their own problems. Lean is how to reduce waste. Total employee involvement is very important in an organization. Then in fifth is how could you participate in competitions. Even for home 5S, there are a lot of competitions which we can participate. So is your organization more of, do you have a proactive team? So now let's see into what Kaizen is. Kaizen is small changes. Generally, Americans and Europeans prefer big changes, but Japanese work on the concept of 1% improvement. Every day, 1%, if you improve, that will give you tremendous results. So that is Kaizen. In Kaizen, what we could do in the house. So as I told you, think of the 7 ways we do. Any small rearrangement of material, fridge or here and there, you could reduce your motion waste. So can we reuse, reduce, recycle materials? Can we do rainwater harvesting? RO water could be given to the garden. So inside the house, how could we reduce EB bills? So that way you could think of Kaizens. So who all can do 5S? Then many people ask me that I have a very small office. Can I do 5S? Or no, I have a very big textile mill. I don't have time to do 5S. So 5S is more of an culture. If you want an autopilot mode, if you want to move to the next level, I think 5S is compulsory. Since we participate in a lot of competitions, we could tell you that entire automobile industry, entire cement industry, I'm talking about the industry, not 1 or 2 companies. Every company in automobile, every company in cement industry, most of the manufacturing people have started 5S very seriously. Services are slowly catching up. In Salem, I think we do, and Grand Palace does wonderful work. Anytime, next time we visit ACAD, go to Grand Palace, they do wonderful 5S. They'll be very happy to give you a guided tour. So 5S is for everyone. Just to summarize, I'll give 5S inside a mobile. Let's say you pick up your mobile. What is 1S? Any unwanted photos, unwanted old WhatsApp videos, forwards, audio clips which you don't listen to, these are all unwanted. So you all clear it up. That is 1S inside your mobile. Second is we have a lot of apps now. Can you bucket the apps into folders? Let's say meeting folders, movie folders. We have a lot of movie apps. Netflix, Prime, all into one movie folder. Lot of meeting apps into one folder. So just again remember 30 seconds. Anything you want inside your phone should be taken in 30 seconds. That is second S. Third S is how can you clean your phone? Let it be the glass or the backside cover, your camera lens, or inside. I think a lot of apps are there to clean your memory, clean the RAM. So that is third S. Fourth S is are your backup plans, are your sync plans, are your contact syncing, everything perfect? If you lose your phone, is your backup on the cloud? So how do you standardize all your phone activities? Is the fourth S. How regularly do you update your Play Store? That is fourth S. Fifth S is, I think Android has got digital well-being. iPhone has got something where you monitor, where you spend your time. You could set your own time to limit yourself within each app. So I think mobile should be more of a catalyst to help us grow. It shouldn't be a time waster. This will come under fifth S. So like this, you could do 5S inside mobile, 5S inside computer. We've recently also in the hospital, we've done like 5S inside Tally, 5S in HR. So everywhere 5S could be applied. So just to summarize, first is why do we do 1S? We do 1S for space. Second is for time. So we don't, when we search for item, we waste our time. That is be doing like that's being too ordinary. We need to respect our own time. So second is for time. Third is for respect for workplace. I think we all celebrate Ayuda Puja to respect the workplace, let it be mission or men. So third is for workplace. I think 1S is for Bogi Pandigai. During Pongal, when we clean everything, that is 1S. Third is Ayuda Puja. Fourth is safety. Safety for employees, safety for customers, safety for everyone. So Whenever we go for audits, we could see it in the factories. Last accident, 365, 370 days. So they mean that last 1 year we didn't have an accident. So safety is an utmost priority for a fifth S company. Fifth S is society. Society in the sense, like if you do 5S properly, your neighbors will do, your street will do, then everyone will do 5S properly. I need to tell you the story. Why did India catch up 5S? I think during 1985, when our old late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi brought in Maruti Suzuki, we only had ambassadors, standard, I think Contessa. Before 1985, we didn't have any foreign cars. So 1985, when Maruti Suzuki came into India, the Japanese couldn't work with Indians. Their automotive vendors, the automotive suppliers, they didn't understand what quality is, what time is, what discipline. They had a very bad supply chain. So the Japanese embassy had to request Indian embassy government to train their supply chain automotive vendors on 5S. So it's literally been like the award which we participate, ABK OTS, it's like 26th year of 5S awards. So for the past 20 to 25 years, we are practicing 5S. So as I told you, I'll end with why. So why 5S is to reduce waste. So every 1 rupee reduced in waste is 1 rupee added in your profit. Another interesting Twitter message I got during this COVID times is 50% of businesses will change their business model. So I like to tell, like in India, inefficient people will lose their jobs, inefficient business will vanish. If you want to be a productive employee, if you want to have a productive, efficient business, 5S is one of the very good tools. So a lot of people wait for a right time to start 5S. Start somewhere. You don't have to keep waiting because there's no end journey for 5S. 5S is like you keep on improving. You can't. There's no stop point for 5S. So if you want to really do it in your house, these are like, this is Marai Kondo from Japan. She's got a Netflix video. She's got a lot of books. You could just check her articles, how to do 5S. She doesn't use the word 5S, but it's sort of 5S. So you could check this. If you want to do it in your workplace or factory, check Toyota books. There's a book called 5 Pillars of Visual Workplace. I'll share it. I have the PDF. I'll share it to you. If you're serious about 5S at workplace, visit these 3 websites. ABK OTS Chennai, they do fantastic work in Chennai and around Chennai. Quality Circle Federation of India, they do 5S. CII does a 5S awards competition. So these 3 organizations promote 5S a lot. So I'll share you this PDF. Just make a note of it. If you go click this bit.ly link, you will find our hospital presentations. You will also find the book there, the Pillars Workplace book there, so that you could take it forward. I think that's the end of it. I'm willing for any questions or any chat. Niveda, over to you.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, thank you so much for such a value-added presentation, I would say. So may it be quality control in any organization or personal management at home, you've proved us that quality is inevitable anywhere and everywhere. As you even told it in the presentation, 5S can be done by anyone, anywhere. So we've understood how important it is to sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. So we can very well understand that one small activity that we do can make a huge difference at our home. I'm pretty sure by looking at the pictures you showed us in the presentation that even if somebody else tends to be in your house, it is very easy for them to operate the machineries or the products or switches, may it be anything. So it was such a nice presentation and we're pretty sure it can make a huge difference. And thank you so much for this presentation, I would say.
Welcome, Niveda. Any questions you want to raise the chat window, do raise it.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the presentation. I hope this presentation not only providing good thoughts among the students, and also it is kindling their mind how to go for a 5S kind of thing in their future workplaces. Because
Sure, sure.
think this is a nice presentation at the time when students are having a transition from first year to second year. So they're going to have many papers in terms of operations also. So this is a great experience for them, sir. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
We will do fibers in our room, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Thanks.
And attendees kindly fill the link for e-certification purpose. Thank you so much.
Any operation students? Any questions? Operation students will have to take this seriously.
Queries are welcome.
Kamal sir couldn't join, is it? Kamal sir is there.
Sir, I'm
Yeah,
in,
he's
sir.
there. He's there. He's there.
Okay,
I'm in,
okay.
sir.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
I just joined the last part of your presentation.
Okay, okay.
So any other queries, students, please post it in the chat box. I hope there is no queries from the student side. Shall we close, sir?
Okay, sir. Sure.
Sir, before closing, I got a question, sir. Hello.
There are few questions, sir.
So Ashok, sir, there is a question from Kalayarasan.
Okay.
Sir, from engineer to MBA, what should I do for this particular thing? It seems is there any certification course for 5 years?
Yes,
By Ashok Satri.
I'll answer it. I think Kalayarasan, I will answer the first part. You could follow it up. My advice would be, after doing engineering, go get some work exposure and then join MBA. That's a mistake I did. Joining MBA as a fresher, I'll be blunt and saying it's a waste of time. If you just want to pass time, go study MBA without work experience. That is from my side. Academic side, Kamal sir will answer. Sir.
That is okay. You are affecting our.
No, I'm only telling, after work exposure, MBA makes more sense.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Let's limit it to that. Ashok Satriyan, is there any certification course for 5 years? Yes, there are certification courses. ABK does it. Certification courses are for being an assessor. If you want to be an assessor, there are 2-day, 3-day classes. Otherwise, there are no certifications. It's very simple. You just go search on Google. You'll have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of, any Toyota book will speak about fibers in length. So that is where you can learn. Any formal courses, I doubt there are. You don't need formal courses to understand fibers. If you want to become an assessor, there are courses.
To be very frank, if any student is interested in 5 years, they can come to your hospital and visit the how 5 years is implemented.
Yeah, I think practically you'll have to understand. In Salem, visit Grand Palace Aircard and our hospital, you will understand better.
Yes.
And I told the same thing when I'm handling operations management for the students, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
Sir, and I got one more question. You are implemented a lot of 5 years initiatives in your home. How much time taken by you to implement all those things, sir?
Sir, in home, what we did is, during the lockdown, since we had a lot of time, we just did 1 day, 1 room. Let's say 1 day kitchen, 1 day storeroom, 1 day study room. So kids were really enjoying doing it. Anyway, they didn't have much time to play outside. So kids took up they had nice time. They itself cleared all the things. So I think 1 day for 1 room, it makes sense, sir. It won't take you much. If you really want to do fibers in the house, I don't think 1 month should do. Within a month, we could do fantastic fibers.
Okay, so that also improving the self-discipline of the individuals as well.
Yes. Now, whatever slides I've showed you, it was just done in 10 days time.
Oh, that's
great, sir.
I think Surya Vimal is asking difference between 5s and 6s. Formerly, when Toyota started, it was only 5s. Later, people added 6s as safety. Safety comes under 4s itself. It was just a branding. So certain companies tell that we do 6s. Now, certain companies tell we do 7s. 7s is savings. If you focus more on cost control and cost savings, it's called 7s for savings. But it's formally only 5s. 6s,
Sir,
7s
which is
all.
most used in 5s or 6s, sir, nowadays?
5s is just 5s. All your safety comes in 4 5s, sir. So, please mute the mic. Hello.
Sir, can you hear, sir?
Yes, sir. Now it's okay. Is there any more
Say any
questions?
more questions?
So one more thing, is there? I could easily differentiate that there will be definitely a competitive edge when you're following 5As or 6As. So what kind of unique selling proposition you deliver by following quality control?
Okay. I don't think it's a unique proposition. I think we need to be at par with quality, right? We can't take a risk at being in hospital, patient safety, lab values, all these are like, I can't take a risk in quality. So that way, quality control, Fibers helps us a lot in quality control. Other than that, I think my operations is definitely better. Organization which doesn't do Fibers and organization which does Fibers, your operations headaches will be very minimum.
True.
So that way we have an edge over others.
Definitely.
Sir, I have a couple of questions, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, on the implementation part, I got two questions. One is like how you trained your employees to get into 5S, because normally they will prove their resistance to any new method that is introduced. Whenever you are something introducing new into your system, there will be resistance. How you inducted and how you oriented your employees towards 5S? This is one question.
Okay.
And second question is like, what is the cost part involved in implementing 5S in your hospital, sir?
Okay. The first question is resistance will definitely be there, sir. For any change management, you will have resistance. But in our case, what for last 4-5 years, we were very persistent on 5S. We didn't jump priorities. So every day, initially, how did it happen is initially first year, I would have been very excited with 5S. I would have done all the part. Second year, I delegated it to my HODs, they were doing. Third year, HODs delegated to their juniors. That way, it cascaded till the bottom. So this is a very big culture change. So it will take 3 to 4 years. So initially, you will have resistance.
Yes.
So that is first question. As I told you, if your why is strong, if everyone in the organization understands we're doing a lot of waste, we need to reduce our waste. If they understand that, they will come up with solutions to reduce the waste. So that way you make them understand why are we doing this, then they'll definitely take it up. That is the first question. Second question, cost is like Fibers isn't expensive at all, sir. If you want to buy fancy stuff and put it, it will be costly, but otherwise you can just do what you have it in the, let's say whatever slides you've seen in the 10-day when we did it in the house, we didn't even go outside the house. Whatever stuff we had in the house, we just used it. Even in the hospital, other than printing stationaries, printing papers, we don't spend much. So
Okay.
it depends upon how you want to do it. If you want to spend and improve a lot of stuff, you can. But let's take an example of your room. In your office, in your academic room, if you want to do 5 years, I don't think you need to spend a lot. You just
Okay.
time and effort is needed to do it. You could
Okay,
ask,
sir.
let's say you could ask for fancy cupboards, or you could ask for fancy stuff on the wall. But even without that, you could do it. Then that's the simpler part of 5 years.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Any more questions? I guess we have come to the close of the webinar. Can we close, sir?
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Right, sir. Sir, on behalf of Sona School of Management, I would like to thank you for your valuable time. And this has been really an eye-opener for everybody, even for the students and the faculty. And as you suggested, we'll have to implement 5 years in our institution, as you suggest.
Sure, sure.
Right, we'll take it forward and we'll discuss, sir. And thanks
Okay,
for your
sure, sir.
remarks.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Ganesh,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ashok, Sapriyan. Thanks all the coordinators. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.